Welcome, Indu, for our video podcast, which is called "Skyrocketing Your Career." And you're our guest today because I looked at your profile and more often than not, correct. So I do a lot of research before I could get any of my guests, just to get that quality and all that. So I looked at your LinkedIn profile and all of it. But the thing that really fascinated me to invite you in my program is more to do with woman empowerment. I think that's the key behind you and the passion that you're trying to drive and taking it forward, correct. And I should say hats off approach for taking that up, correct. And so we would want to know a little more about you. What do you do, and how has been your career so far and all of it. So I leave the question open to you. Go ahead.
First of all, thank you so much, Arif. I'm really honored to come to this show and share the screen with you. So thank you so much for that and giving me
It's my
this honor
pleasure.
and this opportunity.
Yeah.
So even I have been following you, and you are doing incredible work for sure regarding career coaching and all. And I know that this is something everyone at one point of time, I know, gets stuck, and you took this as a mission. I know that's your mission to help people at this stage, which is very critical, because I know this is the stage where people become stagnant. So I'm really, really happy that you're taking this as a mission, because it's a great thing that you're doing. So I myself is honored to come in this show and talk on this line. So about me, pretty much, I uh, what would I say? I come from a beautiful city called Rourkela, and typical middle class family, born and brought up. So the background that I have come from is where usually, where we come with the taboo that girl child is not supposed to study a lot, and they are like, at the end of the day, they have to get married and take care of family. That's the taboo, and that's the kind of a background I come from, which is a very typical background, nothing fancy, if I say, in India even now, I feel. So yeah, I I come from a typical higher middle class family. We never had any financial crunches, with all the blessings of God.
Wow.
So, but with me, the I have been a kind of rebellious child from the very beginning, and I always wanted to do something and not to be in that world, because from the childhood somewhere I had that I want to do something different, because the background that I come from is a girl child is like, they are not allowed to study a lot. If little bit study, get married, and that's where the life is. And that's how I have seen everyone in my family. But I was kind of not very much okay to live that kind of life. And was initially I was not very studious, but then I understood, if I want a different life, I have to work hard and do things on my own. Otherwise I have to get into that again, the same crowd. And
Mm-hmm.
I studied, and I've been in my hometown. Even I did my engineering from NIT Rourkela, studied there. I'm a mechanical engineer.
Wow.
Got into my first job was in one of the biggest aluminium company, which is Vedanta. I started as a GET, which is graduate engineer training, and that
Mm-hmm.
was the time where I was very, even now I am proud to be a mechanical engineer. And then I moved to IT because I got into SAP, and that's where my journey of SAP started. So initially it was not very easy to move from non-IT to IT, but I think it is, I'll say, for me, I usually always seek for something new and try something new. Even though I don't know, I try to put all the efforts to learn and explore, because for me, a non-techie, even now I feel that I'm not a techie kind of a person, because for me technology is in the eyes of the end user. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the technology, that, because that's what drives the entire because there the problem is, then the solution is driven. So I was more focused. So, and initially when I started working with the core company, my motto was very clear, is to learn. And that's what even I want to say, especially for the people
Mhm.
who are in initial like 1 to 5 years. They should give the maximum time to learn, because that's the time where they can,
Mhm.
you put money in the bank and later on you get paid with all the interest and all the benefits. So initial years are
Mhm.
really the years. And today, I'll say, even today,
Mhm.
I'm reaping the fruits of all those work that I have done in my initial years. Because wherever I go, that experience, because that was the on ground experience that I got, that even today it is helping me. So like in IT, I have been changing, like I have worked in a couple of multinational companies, and it has been a great career for me. And I'll say one thing which helped me to grow in my career was, I I'll say it was not something which I was born with. So if you know, or if you ask people who knew me when I was a younger age, I was not very confident. So there was time I used to always feel very inferior. I used to always feel that, okay, these people know more than me and I'm dumb. I don't know anything. And I used to have, even now I have that. I don't show it because there are instances where, I feel that confidence is something that plays a very, very important role. Even when I was
Absolutely.
moving from non-IT to IT, I knew don't know things. But I believe one funda is fake it till you make it. So it's not fake it. I say it is faith it.
Faith it.
Have
Yeah.
faith and then make it, and work bloody hard and you make it. So it is faith it till you make it. So I'll say confidence is something that helped me. And again, it's not that you just become confident and at the end of the day you don't know anything, it will come on the surface. So you have to also work hard.
Absolutely correct.
That
And
is something I'll say, there's no other way out apart from the hard work. So that is all about me, how I grew and reached here in my career. So today I'll say, I'll still say I'm not achieved much. So I have worked in around 15 different countries.
wow.
I have traveled to around, I think, 30 countries now. So my target is to reach at least 50 countries before I reach the number 50 of my age. I love traveling.
Wow.
So that's how it has been for me so far.
Yeah. Absolutely correct. When in the recent post of yours, where you are standing just right opposite to aircraft engines and all that, correct? It looks like
Yeah.
wow, ma'am, exciting so much. Being in SAP and then and getting closer to the aircrafts and then looking at it, correct? Especially the engines and all that, correct? I'm sure that would have been exciting, and nobody would believe that you've crossed so much, correct? I'm sure it had to be that rebellious attitude that you talked about, correct? Which is like, have faith in you and the confidence in you to take it forward. It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter who you are, how you are, and which gender you come from. It is more of having that confidence. And I love this word called, correct, faith it till you make it. It's a mind-blowing,
Yes.
statement that you passed on for a lot of us. Yeah, it is mind blowing, correct?
Yeah.
And when we talk about a
Yeah.
lot of serious stuff, how do you spend your weekends? What happens during weekends? How do you spend your leisure times?
So it is, again, it depends on the mood I'm into. Sometimes I just take my car out and I go for a drive.
Wow.
So that can be one kind of a weekend. Or sometimes
Hmm.
I love cooking.
Okay.
And not everyone believe that I love cooking. They feel that, oh, I cannot do household work, but I think I'm good at it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do that, or sometimes I like completely, if I freak out and overloaded with my work, and that weekend it's all about, I just sit and I watch movies. Or sometimes I'm also connected to some charitable trust. So I go and prefer to spend time with them. So again, it's a different. There is not a single kind of a weekend that I have. Every weekend,
Hmm.
it's kind of keeps rolling something or the other. And now, because of my job role, like recently, there are a lot of changes that I good changes, I'll say, that has happened in my job. So I've been traveling a lot. So it is like one weekend I want to sit at home. So it is like that. At least one weekend I have to be there at home. So that's how it has been.
Wow. And what's your favorite food? What is your street food when you try driving, out and all that? So where do you stop?
Yeah, I'll say this is Pani Puri.
Wow.
And there was one time, because of COVID, now my travels and all are little less, but I know there was time where I used to like
Mhm.
very frequently I used to travel. So every time before I travel, I go and at least have 3 or 4 plate of pani puri before I go. So that's much craziness I have for pani puri.
Wow. It's like a typical, back home girl, correct? A girl girl next door, and I'm sure, correct, a lot of these things, and it's exciting to know, you in the way the person you are. So how does, how do you keep yourself so motivated around, correct? And I'm sure it's not easy.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So I'll not say motivated, like I said.
Mhm.
So I whatever I do, I love what I do. And if the day I stop loving, I change the things.
Wow.
So
Is
so I
that the
love, so
reason?
I don't.
Is that the reason you change so many companies?
No, I told you, like, if I will summarize, I think I have worked with 10 different businesses.
Wow.
Except
Oh.
finance and banking, I think I have worked very closely. And in the consulting role, I work very close to different businesses.
Hmm.
So so that way, when I feel that okay, I know it, and there's nothing new that I have to learn there, that's the time I feel that I have to either look for a different role in the same organization or better change, because I think learning is something which is the only thing which will help me grow. It is very easy, I'll tell you, it's very easy to be in an organization. And again, no offense, I know there are people who stay in an organization for long, and that's absolutely okay, so long as, again, like I said, so long as you love your job, that's absolutely okay. So for me, whenever I feel that okay, I'm very comfortable, like I know the processes, I know the in and out, so there's nothing challenging. And the moment I feel that things are not very challenging, it becomes that I feel that stagnant, that I need something challenging. I don't want,
Wow.
it's like okay, it is Monday and Friday, and in that 5 days nothing exciting that happened, then it becomes, I am not that kind of a person who's like okay with however it is going. I need challenges. So
Amazing,
I'll
correct.
tell you one instance in one of my career growth where like a kind of consulting was okay, and I have done pretty much 3 4 implementations end to end. So I was pretty much okay. And
Mhm.
I have no clue, like I have not done MBA. I am a BTech graduate. So whatever I have learned, it is completely on job training.
Mhm.
And I try to maximize whatever I can learn
Mhm.
in whatever opportunities I grew. And so I know there was a role where I technically, I think I'm not qualified, because that needs those management and all, where you are not more into system and doing the configuration. It will be more into Excel and PPT, where you manage team and all. But I wanted to take that role because that was a kind of challenge I wanted. Like
Mhm.
consulting, I have done enough. So I wanted to move that role, and I said, okay, let me try. In the worst, what will happen? I'll fail. I'll learn something. So I took that challenge, and with God's grace and obviously with all the hard work, and I'm telling you, it's not easy. You have to really, really work bloody hard to make sure that you do justice to that role. And I think I did that justice. So I was given the next promotion and next roles. And I also got, not in only consulting, I also got into the opportunity to do some pre-sales, from business development. And that was very exciting for me to do all these different kind of things. So, and again, this also gives me an opportunity to learn and grow.
Absolutely correct.
How
If you
it
look
has
at
been.
your career and my career, it's been diagonally opposite because I've stayed with the same organization for around
Yeah, I
18
know, I
years.
know.
18 years.
That's why I told no offense for people who
Yeah.
continue.
So, but fingers crossed. I think I've taken enough chances around. I moved into different roles and all that. So this is like a perfect
Okay.
example, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Staying in the same organization or moving multiple companies also doesn't
Mm-hmm.
stop your growth. It is
Exactly.
equally important. Wherever you feel confident and all that, I think it will still work out. And with you
Mm-hmm.
also, correct. I love this word when you said 20 different businesses that I worked with. So look at the thought process, correct? Evolution of it, correct? I'm not picking next role, I'm picking next business opportunity. Okay, that's really a big thought when somebody really puts it in terms of moving out. It is not that you're not satisfied with what you're doing. You're like, hey, I'm getting a little comfortable, let me get uncomfortable now. So it's like,
Uncomfortable. Yes.
correct, it's like being
Yeah.
uncomfortable, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Correct. So I
Yeah.
think those are the brilliant things. I think whoever will watch this video podcast, correct, they'll have a lot to take out from here. Thank you so much for those mind blowing events that you tried putting it through. Correct. So simple and but very valuable lessons. Correct. And these are all
Yeah, because
lives.
at the end of the day, yeah, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
At
Go
the
ahead.
end of the day, I feel, Arif, that you should love what you do. And
Yes.
like you asked I remember the question you asked, what keeps you motivated? Because I like what I do, I don't need that motivation. It comes naturally to me
Yeah. Now, what do you say to
because I
these
really
people,
like it.
correct? Who would say that,
Mhm.
hey, my manager doesn't motivate me. Hey, my peer doesn't motivate me. Hey, my super boss doesn't motivate me. My work doesn't motivate me. What do you tell them? What is your message for them?
Yeah, so in that case, what I will say is that person has to really, first of all, you keep changing the manager and you keep changing this. At the end of the day, when you go to the office, you go to work, and that's where you get paid. You don't
Yeah.
get paid to get motivation. It's a business world. There's no free meal for anyone. Let's be very clear.
Wow.
So here you are paid to do that work, and you have to enjoy that work. And if you need a motivation to enjoy that work, then I think that you are not in the right. You really have to think, sit and have that self talk, that do you really want to do that? Because I know there are a lot of opportunities these days outside, and if you are passionate about something else and you're sitting and doing coding, then there's no motivation in the world can motivate you to do coding if you are fascinated about something else. But if you really want to do that, then I think you have to speak out. You have to reach out for help. And I will not say that people, I'll know in office, not everyone is very good to you. You have to have your own circle. And it's very difficult to trust people, especially in this corporate world. And I'm telling you with my experience. But you will still find there are good people around, and you have to speak out. You need to have that compassion from people, or it can be again friends or family or colleagues, where you have to talk out your problems, whatever it can be, some technical aspect where you are really facing some challenge and you're stuck and you need that motivation or push. I know which is required sometimes. So find that person in your circle, inner circle, and try to talk out and
Mhm.
open your heart and find out the answer. I'll say, don't get stuck and just be within you and think that I need motivation and I'm not getting help, everyone is bullying me. So this will happen, but it is you who have to seek out and find out a solution and
Correct.
move ahead.
In short, if I can talk about this one, correct, is about having a good mentor for yourself. Correct.
Yes,
Who can do this
definitely.
hard and tough conversation with you. Sometimes I feel managers and the office colleagues, sometimes it is difficult to give that straight hard feedback directly on the face, because then the repercussion would be you would not like being working with the manager, or the other perks also, correct. But I think if you have a mentor who is real outside and doesn't have a direct influence on the way you're working and all that, that would really add up, correct, that people can speak directly on your face saying that, hey, you're messing up here, this is not your cup of coffee or a tea, just move it, and taking
Yeah.
it forward from that, correct. And
Yeah,
I think
that's a very good point you mentioned, Arif, because at this point now, you need someone who will listen to you. Because in office, your manager, they say this, and you have to listen to them. When you say mentor, because this person, definitely you need a mentor, because this is the mentor where you can speak out. This is the person you can rely on, you can fall back, and this person will hear you. Because when you speak out, there's a lot of stress that gets that gets out, and then you are in a position to also observe. But if you are already full with all those stress, negativity, and all those things, even though people will say, because you know that this person, you cannot observe from this person.
Yeah,
So mentor, for sure, it's something definitely you need, who can help you, who can give you a direction, for
absolutely
sure.
correct. Yeah. There is
Yeah.
another tangent to it, correct? We are okay to spend around a lakh and a half for a TV at home and a mobile of around what, if not less than a lakh, correct?
Yeah.
But I don't know how many of us really spend money in self-development. That's where,
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody thinks in those lines, correct? And sometimes to have this enriching career, correct, you should have some guidance, some push around, and then all that. I think that's, as an India as a culture, India as a country, correct? I don't think we are yet there, but I'm sure we will get there soon in terms of seeking that help, taking it forward, and all of it, correct? So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll ask this another amazing question, correct? What is the hardest move that you made in your career that you felt like probably this is too hard for me to live?
Yeah, I think I have done couple of times such decisions where it was not easy decisions to
Mm-hmm.
make, but I always go with plan A and plan B, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even plan C. So that's how my moves are. If not A, then I have B and C.
Okay.
I have at least B. So that's how I make my move. So there was a time where I remember I was in this IT company Wipro, and
Mm-hmm.
then I I wanted to move because the next project was in a location where I was not ready to move. It was one of the very remote location. So at that point of time, I had, I think, two, three offers in my hand, and with all the best companies like
Mm-hmm.
KPMG, Infotech, Capgemini, and also I had an offer. The fourth offer was for a very small company
Mm-hmm.
whose name I have never heard, but they were into SAP consulting.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that risk, and the other company. So that time I was based out in Mumbai, so everyone was offering me the job in Mumbai, but this company was at Bangalore, and they asked me also to move to Bangalore. So that was a very big risk because I was not sure
Okay.
what this company is. And then imagine you have offer with all these big giants, Deloitte, KPMG, and then you have this where again you have to also move your base. You
Mm-hmm.
have to completely relocate to a new city, which
Wow.
is a very big decision to make. Guess what I did?
Wow. I
I
would
said,
say.
because I read a lot of books. So
Uh-huh.
somewhere, and that was a phase where I was following Jack Ma, and I was reading a lot of things from him. And I remember one quote from him. He mentioned, "If you want to learn process, work for a big company. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to learn passion, dreams, drive, work with a small company." That's
Wow.
it. That one line. That's it. I said, I'm changing the city. I'm going to this small company.
Wow.
At max, what will happen? If everything works well, fine. If it doesn't work well, I'll give another interview, or if this guy, the other offers which I have, if
Yeah.
it still holds me, I'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
But I changed. I completely moved my location to Bangalore and started working, and I think that was one of the best decisions. And like he mentioned in his quote, and that's how things are,
Mm-hmm.
because in big companies there's so much of crowd, and obviously they have the set of processes and all, which is obviously very well placed. But in the small company, I learned so many things,
Mm-hmm.
which being in Wipro, I was just a consultant doing that small role. But in this company, I got an opportunity to do various kinds of
Uh-huh.
role, and that helped me a lot to skyrocket, like the
Wow.
podcast, to skyrocket my career. And
Yeah.
even there, I'll say a few bosses, or I'll say they were my mentors,
Mm-hmm.
who definitely helped me to grow. And again, if I'll say it was journey of, that was one company where I stayed for the longest so far.
Uh-huh.
So it was
Okay.
5.5 years I stayed in that company. And again, if so I joined there as a consultant, and when I resigned as a senior manager. So it was like three
Wow.
levels of jump in 5 years, and it's not easy. This comes with a lot of peer pressure, lot of office politics, and being a woman in this business, it's not easy
Uh-huh.
to hold your ground and prove yourself. It's not easy. So I have gone through all this melodrama, or I'll say drama, uh, that everyone goes through. But I made a point that I'm here to grow.
Yeah.
So for me, it was very clear. When when there is a horse race, they put this patta.
Yeah.
I don't know what do you say, the shield in the
Yeah.
side, so that the horse doesn't see anything. The horse has to just see the goal.
Okay.
That was the only motto when all this office politics and everything was going on there. I was like, I'm here to grow. So long as I'm growing, fine. Otherwise, I change the company again.
I
So
lo- I love this
that
confidence,
was
correct? Yeah.
so that was very clear. So I never gave. And in IT especially, there's a lot of craze for on-site and all.
Mm-hmm.
And again, luckily, because of the kind of role that I'm into, I was into pre-sales and business development. So I used to go for business discussions, new client acquisitions, and all. So there was kind of travel which I have to do. And there were sometimes ad hoc assignments given to me where I'm
Uh-huh.
working as a consultant, and suddenly, because I'm there in UK, I've been asked to go to another client visit and do some solutioning and try and get a project,
Mm-hmm.
which again was very difficult thing to do for, because I've never done that. But again, I said, let me try.
Okay.
And I remember I was in London and there was 5 days off. There was a bank holiday. Every was on vacation, enjoying, celebrating. And even I had then opportunity to do that. But I decided I will sit, I will work, I'll make this presentation, because for me it was like make it or break it phase.
Okay.
5 days, anytime I can come and enjoy in London, that's fine. But I have to sit and work and make sure this presentation works. So Tuesday we presented, and luckily we got that project, and it was a big budget project.
Amazing.
So which was a big win for me. I don't know how much it was for the company, but for me it was a big win, because that was something I've never done, that I did it for the first time, and I could crack that.
Ex-
So again, I'll say it was confident that helped me there.
Yeah, sometimes people forget these aspects, correct? When they talk about, favoritism, manager likes XYZ and all
Mm-hmm.
that, they forget that the background work about dedication, determination, and just to be, decisive of being there to crunch it. It would have been easy go saying that, hey, it was 5 days off, let's go have fun. And on Monday, come back and sit and make presentation or whatever way, and then come back and present it. If it happens, happens. Doesn't happen, doesn't happen. But to let that go off, sit, prepare it with so much of focus, and then winning a game is it deserves a applause, and there's a lot of hard work that goes behind that. Correct.
It
Generally,
is a lot of, yeah.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes people
Yeah,
don't
and
see.
like I said, it is at the end of the day, uh, do you really like it? Do you take it as a challenge? Because for
Yeah.
me, it was a challenge.
Wow.
They should not say that Indu is getting promotions because she is a woman or whatever nonsense. Sh- I have to prove that I deserve it.
Absolutely correct. And thank God you brought this point correct. Generally, men think women get a soft corner and hence the promotions. But when you started, you said that it's not easy to be in the male zone, correct? In terms of promotions and all that. So, what is the reality? Ideally, what you feel?
No, I'll say it should not be gender bias, but there is a bias. Again, this is a very big topic.
Yeah.
I don't want to, because it's a very controversial topic. But
Uh,
in with my experience, I will say there is a bias, because I remember when I was in a role where even I have male colleagues, and they interview a female and they'll say, oh no, I don't want a girl in my team, man.
wow.
She'll say, abhi raat ho gaya, I have to go home, I cannot work late. And I said, why did she say that she cannot? Why are you assuming that she will?
Oh God.
They always refrain to have a female as a team, because oh no, she has to go early, this will happen, the project will go, like it is a US based project, and then we cannot meet the deadline. So these are the assumptions, or these are the, I'll say, the myths which is there. I think slowly things are improving. I don't think
Absolutely.
the things are still the same, but there is a kind of bias, but things are improving a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But even interviews and all, people feel that okay, these days, that there is like women drive and all,
Yeah.
because organizations are keen to increase that percentage of, or have at least
Yes.
some, because the
Representation.
differences are huge.
Yeah.
The male and female ratio in organizations, it's huge.
Yeah.
So they are having this drive. So even there, like, there
Hmm.
is a notion amongst a population of the colleagues that
Hmm.
okay, they get favored because they are a female. But technical interviews are still the same. If a female says a wrong answer, we don't select them.
Oh
I
God.
myself have rejected many of such females. So that is something, should not be a bias, but yeah, there is a bias.
Yeah. So I'll talk about this one, correct, which is called a subconscious bias,
Mm-hmm.
correct, where you
Yeah.
are, yeah, where you are,
Yeah.
you have your own personal choices to make because of the human that you are. I wish it was
Mm-hmm.
all automated and the system makes that decision. But because you're all human, there will always be a subconscious biasness. But how
Mm-hmm.
somebody as a leader becomes conscious about those and then try minimizing those effects. Will it be zero? I don't think so. But there will still be a reasoning behind, when somebody does this subconscious biasness and all that, which is as a human existent. You will have to deal
Yeah.
with it. Sometimes you're on the positive end of it and sometimes you're on the negative end of it, as
Yeah.
as in cricket match, correct, there are decisions that happen that you don't like. There are sometimes,
Yeah.
you get in your favor. So I think these are part and parcel of the roles and the lives that we live in, and then I think we should just brush it off and then move forward.
Yeah. And I'll not say this bias only comes from male.
Yeah.
So even the female does this bias.
Yes.
So even if that leader is a female leader and she feels that role is very demanding, she herself doesn't prefer. So I'll not blame that it is just the male does the bias. It's
Hmm.
the overall level who does the bias.
Yeah.
And this is where the work, there's some work that has to happen. And I see the organizations have started working on
Yeah.
at least making sure that bias somewhere reduces.
Yes. And then I'm liking this drive, correct, the one that you talked about, having a lot of representation, female representation, or I would say diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, I think India is still catching up on this, and the US and rest of the countries, correct, they are very much well balanced with it. They want people from different culture, ethnicities, and all that, so that there is this cohesive decision making. Because when you go out in the market, you don't go out for a specific religion or specific race or a specific what's your gender, but you go out in total in terms of humanity and then serving, correct, if it
Mm-hmm.
has to be a business that will last longer. And I think you will have to be an inclusive business, then excluding a lot of other stuff and all that, and
Yes,
for
yes,
that
yes.
decision to happen, everybody coming together on the top is really really important. And I think we as a country are coming together for that, and I'm sure we
Yeah.
will thrive in the near future, because we will be a superpower for sure. But how do we move from today to that is what you and I will decide, correct.
Yeah,
And
sure.
hence this podcast, hence this information, hence this mid-career coaching and all that. That's also I'm trying to add my flavor to it and my give back to the society, because I got a lot, and then hence I'm trying to do this aspect, correct. So now what do we talk about office politics? How do you deal with office politics? Let me talk about this one.
Okay, yeah, office politics is there everywhere. So that is something I'll say you cannot get away. And it is, if you, and I'll not say changing organization will solve, because the next organization will also have that politics. So, so it is everywhere. It is just like air everywhere.
Yeah.
So to deal with, again, like I said, you have to just focus on your work and just focus on your goals. Like if you are in that organization, what is that you want to do? Where do you want to go in next 2 years or 4 years? Just focus on that. And if you see that there are this politics which is happening and it is becoming a problem, then maybe go speak out to your manager and with the data point. You cannot just go and speak out to them and say that, okay, this is happening. You need to have those instances and data point where you can seek for help, maybe
Yeah,
change of team, or your team gets changed with people who are more positive towards you. I think these are the things which can help.
absolutely correct.
And,
There,
and
there,
you have to really need to deal with it, because this is everywhere. Even
yeah,
though you change your company, you find that same thing happening in other place also.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, the way I look at this aspect, correct, which is have a courage to talk.
Yep.
If you don't stand for yourself, then who else will you stand for?
Exactly.
Correct. It doesn't matter who. And as you rightly said, collect those data points and then try moving forward.
Exactly. Yeah, because
And
I have seen there are many people who leave the company because they cannot handle the politics.
mm,
But in the next company also they face the same thing. So today or tomorrow you have to learn to deal with it.
yes,
So
correct.
better learn to deal with it today.
Correct. Because at a higher level, it will go a little dirtier then.
Exactly.
Correct.
Because
And then
there the fight is with a different level.
and the ego gets added to it. So
Oh yeah,
as a
that
flavor.
is the major issue in that level.
Yeah. So I think you should learn the art of handling it here. And then when you move up, I think you
Yeah.
will you will do it a lot better,
Yeah,
or
and
you'll become a lot more
I'll say
capable.
one thing that helps here is you need to build your network.
Yes.
So you are in office, obviously you're for work, but also mingle with
Yeah.
people outside your team, people maybe if you do some extracurricular activities, be visible, I'll say.
Yeah.
It's not only that work that matters, because now things are so diverse. One thing which can help is be visible. Do this, do little bit this, some volunteering, some activity here and there, so that when you're visible, that builds your network,
Yeah.
and there you get the backup.
Absolutely correct.
People will be there who stand for you and back you up.
Yeah. And these are the ones sometimes influences also. So you need to have that
Yes,
circle of your influence also,
yes,
where you
definitely.
know that
Yes.
there is a point that you're stuck. You can just approach somebody and then get
Yeah.
taken care of. Correct. And can't be better than that. So in
Yeah.
the I know we spoke a lot about office, but we will talk about your passion. So
Mhm.
what is on your mind from a woman empowerment, and how do you want to take it forward?
Yeah, so women empowerment, like I said, it's a very, very big topic, and
Yeah.
there are many aspects to it. So what I am, I'll not say that I'm a coach or I'm a mentor. I'm just focusing on what I can do, that small
Amazing.
impact that I can make to bring a small or a big difference. So like I said, there are different aspects, and I'm trying to touch on different aspects, may it be at the grassroots level, where education plays a very important role. And again, this education is not gender biased, that only female education. It is, if the next generation is educated and they know the values, right values.
Hmm.
Because right now, the country where I am in, or we are in, it is the best time. We are
Yes.
growing, and it may be in next 10 years or 15 years, I think we are the next superpower. Because
Yes.
like few weeks back, I was in the US and I could see the difference between India when I was in US 3 years back and
Mhm.
today. There is a big difference, how well placed we as an Indian are, no matter where we are. And so this is a very, very, very bright time for us. So
Yes.
also people, no matter in which part of the career you are in, or maybe my passion, where the difference, like there is a huge difference in women empowerment, and it's not only in job, it is also in maybe women who are entrepreneurs or women who are doing something else. Because there is a contribution which each one of us has to make to the country's growth.
Yes.
We all has to be a part of it if
Yes.
we think that we are growing. Because if we all contribute, the speed increases.
Yes.
That's what I believe. So
Absolutely.
if everyone, and that, if I'm talking about next 15 years, so the generation today, that's one project that I'm working, which is on child education. The
Hmm.
second project is, again, like I know many of my own friends who are well educated. They were in a job and then they left their job because of the family priorities and other
Hmm.
instances of life. And I know they were absolutely mind blowing.
Excellent.
They had very excelled
Hmm.
very good level at their career, and they left their career. So again, these are few things which I want to touch, where I want to see where I can help and bring an impact, where the difference, like last, I think 2 months back, when we did some data analysis for one of the company. So the difference was there is 85-15%. So
Wow.
85% male and 15% female on some levels of leadership. And that's across entrepreneurship or job or
Mm-hmm.
across. So it is only 15% women who's there. And there's a big gap. So
Yeah,
we are not even thinking of 50-50. 50-50 is a very big dream to have. Even if we become 75-25, it's a big achievement.
absolutely correct.
So that is where I'm trying to see if I'm whatever contribution I can do on this space. So that is the
Absolutely.
mission that I'm working on right now.
Wow. All the best for your mission, and I think it will serve purpose for the country in its growth. Correct. As you rightly said,
Yeah.
everybody have to contribute to be there. Correct.
Yes.
And the population is our strength, and
Yes.
all of us, put together can add that value. Correct. And I am
Right.
sure
Right.
we would. So because now there is a change in the economy. Correct, where from west it is moving to east. Correct. and
Yep.
and that's how India, China, and all these countries will propel in the
Mm-hmm.
in the coming centuries and all that. Correct. And I think that's where we are. If we appropriately deal with ourselves and the corporates and the way we are, I think we will reach that goal much faster. So that's where we are.
Yes.
And how about your ebook? You haven't spoken about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so the ebook was again on the same topic, which is around my mission on unleashing. So the name of the book is Unleash the Real You, and it is
Mm,
again kind of how to break those barriers. And like I said, these barriers are there in our head. So all these female leaders at different role who are there at a very high level and doing wonders, they also have a family,
yeah,
they also have a husband to take care and the kids to take care.
yeah,
So if they can do that, what is stopping the rest? So that is the mission that I have taken, to make sure that we pull in all these females who somewhere dropped. So, and the book is all about that. That
amazing.
yeah, and the responses were good, and there were very good reviews that came. So right now I'm also working on another book, because there was a big demand that came on a physical book, because we all book myths, we feel that it has to be something physical and we should work on the hard copy. So that's the another book. uh, Still working on the title and the rest of the things. So
All the
by
best.
end of this year, hopefully we'll launch this.
I am sure. Correct. And keep that spirit on and goal. Thank you so much for being with us, Indu, today, and spending this your valuable time. Any last comments that you would want to add before you could leave for the
Yeah,
audience?
so first of all, thank you again, Arif, to having me on this show, and whatever way if I can help. And since I have seen a lot growing in my career, so only thing that I will say for people who are stuck in mid career, because I know when I was stuck in my mid career, there are few things which is very naturally which comes to our head is, okay, let's do MBA, let's put 3-4 lakhs, which came to me also. And I'll be very honest, that came to me, and I started looking for all these IIMs, Kolkata or these that. And then I decided, is it that because I have studied engineering, it was a tough nut to crack. And again, if someone says study, so I said no, something that I should learn on job. And so there are other ways. So self development is something which we should focus, because technically anyways, if you are in a job, at the end of the day, it's a business, you will learn
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So what people has to also focus is on the soft skills, like
yeah.
communication skill. You need to have those confidence, art of speaking. So there are a lot of skills, these are soft skills, and these are the things which is needed to grow to the next level.
Absolutely.
So I will only, the last thing only that I want to say to the listeners is, focus on all these skills, because if you are confident, the world is at your foot. That's what I will say. So be
These.
confident, learn, love what you do, and if you don't like what you do, don't do it.
I like the simple fundas that you come up with. Correct. And these are
Yeah,
just
and
like.
have a mentor. That's very, very important, because there are so many distractions in our life today, starting with this small smartphone, which has become an organ of our life.
Life,
We can
yes.
live with a kidney, we cannot live with this. So there are so many distractions in life. So only person who can help you to come out of this is to, we say guru. There are different words, like we say guru, we say mentor, we there are different notions. So have one, because this is the only person who can help you to guide you in the right direction. Otherwise, you'll just get lost in this crowd. And
Absolutely.
like I said, Arif, you're doing wonderful job in helping these people who are, I know, kind of we get lost in this mid-career. So Arif is already there as a mentor. So just reach out to him and take the best from him and grow and flourish in your life.
Sure. Thank you so much. I didn't ask her to tell this. So, so, but
No, this came directly from me, because I know you're
yeah,
doing wonderful, Arif, and
thank you.
I have been, like I said, I've been following some of the work that you have been doing. So I am feeling that I should have had a mentor like you.
Thank you so
My
much.
journey would have been a bit easier.
Yeah, a lot easier, and the people forget that the number of promotions they will add to their tenure, correct?
Exactly.
If you're
Yes.
stagnant, if you're stopped, and you are losing time ideally, correct? You're
Yeah.
losing your energy, you're losing your age, you're losing everything there. Instead of getting stagnant, if you're all propelled enough to skyrocket your
Yes.
career, and what
Yes.
could be a better way to do it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, because being
And
stagnant is it's a very dangerous phase. You know, when water gets stagnant, it becomes pungent, and
correct.
that's the phase you are in. And
Yeah.
when you're stagnant, you are even scared to do a mistake. So you don't take a chance. You are like stuck.
Yes.
So if you have a mentor, at least that person can push you to
Yes.
do something, even though, okay, you will fail. That's okay. And failure is a part of life. But at least you learn in that way. Like I will say, in my life, I have done so many mistakes. I'm still doing mistakes, but I'm learning and I'm again trying something. So that is
Excellent.
something that has to be the motto of life.
Thank you so much, Indu. I will have to finish this, else it's going to last longer. But thank you so much for
Yes,
adding
yes.
so much value to the audience, and taken it was a mind blowing, a meeting with you, and then getting so much insights about it. All the best in your journey as well. We'll catch up again. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for being around.